This is international boxing news, and I'm joined by Brad Rae. Brad, how you doing, mate?
I'm all good, thank you, mate. Thanks for having me on.
No problem at all. Obviously, we're talking to you ahead of your English middleweight title fight against Tyler Denny. How's camp going for that fight?
Going well, mate. Yeah, it's going well. It's been tough. It's been a long camp, but it's light at the end of the tunnel now. We're nearly there, and I'm confident that all the hard work and sacrifices we've put in are going to come good in 2 weeks' time.
Perfect. Was this fight always billed as for the English middleweight title? Because it wasn't on some posters, and then it was. As far as you're concerned, was it always for the English middleweight title?
The plan was always for the English. That's the reason we wanted to fight Ty because he had the English title. That's always kind of been my plan and my team's plan. And then we ran into a little problem of while we were waiting to announce the fight, the British Boxing Board ordered Tyler Denny to defend his English title against Brad Pauls. So there was a couple of weeks messing about, couple of weeks, people who know what they're doing, sorting things out, and I was just in the gym cracking on training. And yeah, so we've agreed the winner of me and Denny will then go on to defend the English title against Brad Pauls. So think we're all happy, every party's happy. So yeah, maybe another good fight to look forward to
No,
for one of us
no,
next year.
perfect, mate. I suppose that gives you a bit more kind of say longevity in the next few fights. You kind of know what you need to focus on. So no, that's that. I mean, as long as both our parties are happy, now I'm glad that you've also got the opportunity to fight for that title as well. Before we go into your fight with Tyler Denny, which is a cracker, I want to go back all the way to your fight against Lee Cutler during COVID. Obviously that was the first time I ever watched you kind of box. I think quite a lot of people did. That was your first one. That was your first time on Sky Sports, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Perfect. And it was obviously like billed as kind of a 50-50 fight, kind of someone's O's got to go type of thing. Obviously Eddie was doing his best to kind of promote that fight during COVID. And you made it and you got the first round KO in what was billed as a 50-50 fight. Would you kind of consider that fight as your breakthrough fight onto the mainstream stage?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It was kind of years of, grafting on a small show, selling tickets. And I knew at some point I'd get an opportunity, I'd get a chance like that. And, the years of hard work were all aimed at that when that opportunity was to show itself. I had to grab it with both hands, and I feel like that's what I did. And ever since then, my career has kind of took off. And at the time, like you say, it was built as a 50-50 fight. It was a risky fight for the both of us, but for me, I just knew what the fight could lead to, and I was confident in myself. And you know, obviously, looking back now, whatever happens in my career, in years to come, I'll probably look back on that day and think, that was the point when things started to change for me.
Was you spoke, obviously you were very confident, as you said, going into that fight. Kind of the years of hard work and dedication kind of gave you that confidence as well. But from that, were you still feeling any pressure going into that fight? Obviously, first time fighting on telly, or did that confidence kind of overall any kind of pressure that you were feeling at that time?
You know what? I'm quite a chilled out guy, me, before fights. I'm quite. I don't really get too nervous or myself worked up and stuff. But I remember waking up on the morning of the fight, and I was in obviously in the bubble, all locked down, and in the hotel room. And I just remember looking in the mirror, and I had a little nervous twinge in my belly, and I was like, this is big, this is big. And I don't think it was the fact that I thought I was going to lose the fight. I think it was I knew what the fight could lead to, and I knew that this was, like I said, I was waiting for a moment to break out, and this was that moment, and I just knew I had to grab it. This is it. And like you say, very, very, very luckily for me, it paid off.
It did, and then from that moment, kind of, you went into a really entertaining fight with Jez Smith. Obviously, signed with Boxer as well, which kind of, I remember that fight being on before the bell and being really confused as to why it wasn't on the main broadcast. It was such a great fight, even on paper. And then you get wins on, obviously, the Carnbrook undercard, Savannah Marshall's undercard, and then progressing now to your English middleweight title fight with Tyler Denny. Kind of what, obviously, you've been on Sky Sports, Tyler Denny's been on Sky Sports, obviously, recently as well. Kind of what are you expecting from Tyler Denny on November 12th?
Yeah, I know I'm in for a tough night's work because I highly rate Tyler. He's a very good fighter and he's tough and he's seasoned and he can offer a lot. He's not a one trick pony. He's got different styles. He can box, he can fight, he can slug it out if he has to. So I think the fact that he couldn't come with different game plans, means you've kind of got to adapt and you've got to be prepared for anything that he's going to offer. Saying that, I think eventually at some point in this fight, it's going to catch fire, and I think the game plans will go out the window, and it'll be, come on then, who wants this more? And I think just the way that I fight, the way that Tyler fights, I think at some point, it's going to catch fire, and I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be entertaining, and I think it's going to be one for the fans, definitely.
I think it will be, and going by the last few English title fights that have happened on Sky Sports, I do think it will catch fire, like you said, and from the way you've been talking about kind of the confidence that you have going into these fights and how you've kind of progressed and how you've given yourself that confidence, I think you'll be really, really in there until the final moments of the fight. So from that, obviously, you said you wanted at the beginning of the interview, you wanted this fight because Tyler had the English title as well. Is the kind of traditional route, let's say, so the English, British, European, and then world title, is that kind of the route you would like to take?
Yeah, that's it. Since I sat down with my coach Blaine when I was thinking about training professional, and we talked about our plan and what ideas we had in our head. That's always been the route for me. And I've said a few times this week, I'm not just a professional boxer. I'm a boxing fan. I'm a boxing fan, and I know that on the weekend when I sit down to watch a boxing show, if I look at the card and if there's a prospect in a international title fight against some foreigner, or if there's two, up and coming domestic lads on the bill, I know which fight I'm looking forward to. The type of fights that I put myself in are the ones that people want to see. Two names that they know, two names that they've watched on a regular basis, and they always produce. And I think the promoters are getting onto that now. These domestic fights are the ones you want to put on the cards. You want to give some lads from the small hall circuit, or some lads who've not had that kind of breakout yet. You want to give them the chance, because when they get that chance, they see, right, this is my moment now, like I did with Cutler, and you put it all on the line, and it just produces some great fights. And for me, looking at it from that fan's perspective and fans' point of view, they're the fights that people want to see. So they're the fights that I want to be in.
No, perfect. And yeah, like you were saying, obviously, I love to hear that kind of, as well as being a boxer, you're a boxing fan as well, and even the prospect of fighting these big names kind of makes it's like if you were watching yourself fight Tyler Denny, you'd be excited to watch it as well. And I feel like if you continue with that throughout your career, you'll continue to be a fan favorite like you already are. And obviously, being a boxing fan, obviously you did post a few photos on your Twitter as well, I have to ask because I feel like obviously, well, me being a boxing fan as well, I take photos with these boxers as well. You've posted some photos of years back with Natasha Jonas and Ricky Hatton. Obviously, you're sharing this card with the pair of them. Obviously, Ricky in his exhibition fight, Natasha going for a unification against Marie Eve. Um, I know I'm saying this because it would be for me. Is it a bit of sometimes a bit of a pinch yourself moment that you're sharing cards with the superstars of the sport?
It is, yeah, definitely. But I think now, I'm getting used to it. It's becoming a bit normal. But then when I look back and I remember, how far I've come, and just the progress that I've made, it is a bit like, but yeah, I'm not doing too bad here, am I? So yeah, it's great to see, and like I say, hopefully I can just keep going.
No, and as I said, I would be thinking exactly the same, and also not to mention sharing the same card with Ricky. I don't even have this question written down; it's just come to my head. Obviously, you train alongside him as well, and obviously he helps train you as well. What's that been like? What's it like to train with Ricky as well?
Yeah, it's great to have him as part of the team. Obviously, I've got my head coach Blaine, who's been training Rick for his exhibition, and Rick's stable of lads, and we all train together. We've got a great setup now at the Hattons gym, and I think we've got a good little team now that for me is the team to kind of push me forward and take me to the next level. With someone who's got the goals that I've got of winning titles and packing out Manchester Arena, and you know what I mean. I've got no one better to kind of be on board than Ricky. He's been there, he's done it, he's got the t-shirt, and it's gonna be great sharing the card with him on in 2 weeks' time.
No, and I think we will be, and I think well, it's my turn to come up to that Sky show, so I'll definitely see you there, Brad, and hopefully catch you up there on fight week. Brad, that is all of my questions, mate. I can't thank you enough for being on International Boxing News, and as I said, best of luck November 12th, and looking forward to catch up with you on fight week.
Oh, thanks so much, mate. Look forward to it. I'll see you on fight week.